A lot of it's a lot of formality that our people are doing. They're going through this like it's a formality, some type of I won't say structure because most of it is unstructured. It's structured in a way of not being able to know what's very important, most of all with the Most High, and that's that we don't set ourselves above where we really are in captivity. No one has that right. And it's not marvelous in the eyes of the Most High, as it is written. So, I was asked a question. I want to answer this question in Ecclesiasticus, 22nd chapter. As always, we're going to start with Colossians 3:17. Giving all praise and glory to the Most High power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. He said that's his name forever. That's his name forever, unto this day. And Jacob being the forefather of the 12 tribes of Israel, I don't see how anyone could include anyone else into this equation. I mean, the Most High, He reigns on the just and the unjust. So you can't handle the fact that the Israelites are going to be ruling the world next forever and ever and ever. The same ones that you look down upon, the same ones that you feel that they're nothing, and that's what you're going to be. Nothing. What's already said in Isaiah 40:17, all this before me are as nothing. So the only hope you have is to come back to the Most High's laws, statute, commandments, to do what He says do. And the Most High might have you in the position of servitude to serve a Mashiach Yahushua in the 144,000 that the Most High gonna set up over the whole world. It's like you have the superpowers of the earth right now. It's just going to be a change of the guard. In righteousness, though. It's sad because you can't look beyond the fact of the wickedness that you see in this world. So you can't, everybody that can't see righteousness, we ruling in righteousness under the divine order of the Most High, and you wicked and you deserve to die. As it is written. Because you're wicked. And the wicked not going to receive the kingdom of, go to the kingdom of the Most High. Point blank. What's wrong with doing what He say do? You want to say we got to follow the law of the land. So you say you got to follow the devil more so than following the Most High. And you don't have no creativity. He used the Bible for some of his laws. And he go contrary to the Bible in a lot of his laws that he's coming out in these last days. You know, this is Sodom and Gomorrah, this America is. Most of anywhere in the world is Babylon the Great. So, we got to get ourselves together, Israel. That's what's important. For the wicked, you're doing what you're supposed to do. We just got to do what we're supposed to do. Come back to the Most High and be righteous. Follow what He say do. In our captivity, wherever we are in the world. And don't forsake the Most High. Make Him proud of us, regardless of what this world offers and puts us through. As long as the Most High is proud of you, who cares? I mean, you're looking at this book here, where most of everybody in this book are martyrs. They killed the prophets, they killed the apostles, they killed the Mashiach Yahushua. So that's why He said don't worry about those that can kill the body, but they can kill the soul. They can't kill the spirit. But the Most High is going to kill people and take their spirits and throw them into the lake of fire, where the worms never die and the fires never quench. But old people don't want to hear that because you want all this love. You don't have love in this world. Just turn on your news tonight and see if you see nothing but love on the news. Look for it. See if you can find it in this world. But what the media is showing, the way they're raising our children, where they're doing everything. School system, they took the Most High, the Mashiach Yahushua out the school, so who they leave there? The devil. Now tell me I'm lying. You took righteousness out of the schools to allow Satan to rule over the children. Now you're implementing the church of Satan into the school system. Let's read. Let's go to Colossians 3:17. And whatsoever ye do in word or deed, do all by Hashem Mashiach Yahushua, giving thanks to the Most High and the Father by Hashem Mashiach Yahushua. So everything that we say and do is going to be in the name of the anointed Savior. And we give thanks to the Most High power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob for everything. He's worthy to be praised for everything. Everything. So the question I had was in Ecclesiasticus in Apocrypha, the 22nd chapter. I'm going to start at verse 1. Ecclesiasticus, the 22nd chapter, and verse 1. It says, a slothful man is compared to a filthy stone, and everyone will hiss him out to his disgrace. Wow, so slothful means lazy, unmotivated man. Now, it says slothful man is compared to a filthy stone. So, I'll give you an example of a filthy stone. Let's look at the Maccabees. Let's go to First Maccabees and look at First Maccabees, the 4th chapter, and let's start at verse 36. It's during the time of the Greek Empire, when they came to power, and a wicked king, Edomite, Antiochus Epiphanes, was ruling over us. And Judas Maccabees and his brothers and his armies was against him. It says, verse 36, First Maccabees 4 and 36. We're here for this filthy stone. Let's see, get some idea of that. Then said Judas and his brethren, behold, our enemies are discomfited. Let us go up to cleanse and dedicate the sanctuary, our place of worship, the Israelites. Upon this all the hosts assembled themselves together and went up into Mount Zion. And when they saw the sanctuary desolate, and the altar profane, and the gates burned up, and scrubs growing in the courts as in a forest, or in one of the mountains, and the priest's chambers pulled down, they rent their clothes, they tore their clothes, and made great lamentation, cried, and cast ashes upon their heads, and fell down flat to the ground upon their faces, and blew an alarm with the trumpets, and cried toward heaven, cried to the Most High. Then Judas appointed certain men to fight against those that were in the fortress until he had cleansed the sanctuary. So he had men go out and fight against those that would come to try and stop us from cleaning the sanctuary. So he chose priests of blameless conversation, such as had pleasure in the law, who cleanse the sanctuary and bear out the defiled stones into an unclean place. See, these stones were unclean. Why? Because when you read First Maccabees, the 1st chapter, and we start at verse 41, it says, moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people. And we're just looking at this filthy stone. And everyone should leave his laws. So all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king. So Antiochus Epiphanes, that's his name, of the Seleucid dynasty of the Edomites, said everybody should leave their laws, and everybody agreed. And everyone should leave his laws, verse 42. So all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king. Yeah, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion, like y'all consent to all these religions that they set up right now. And sacrifice unto idols and profane the Sabbath. See? Remember Psalm 96:5 says, for all the gods of the nations are idols. So they say he's going to naturally go with it because that's what they dealing with, idolatry anyway. So it says, verse 44, for the king has sent letters by messengers unto Jerusalem and the cities of Judah, that they should follow the strange laws of the land, and forbid burnt offerings and sacrifice and drink offerings in the temple. This is the sanctuary. The temple, sanctuary is the same thing, place of worship. And that they should profane the Sabbaths and festival days, and pollute the sanctuary and holy people. See that? That's why these stones are filthy. It says, set up altars and groves, making it clear as day right now. Set up altars and groves and chapels of idols, and sacrifice swine's flesh. You ain't supposed to touch a dead pig carcass, but they sacrifice swine's flesh and unclean beasts. That they should also lead their children uncircumcised and make their souls abominable with all manner of uncleanness and profanation, to the end they might forget the law and change all the ordinances. This is what was decreed. That's why he said to men to fight against them while they was cleansing the sanctuary, the temple. And whosoever would not do according to the commandment of the king, he said he should die. So let's go back to First Maccabees, the 4th chapter, in verse 42 again. It says, so he chose priests of blameless conversation, such as had pleasure in the law, who cleansed the sanctuary and bear out the defiled stones into an unclean place, because it was defiled. Because you just read how they were sacrificing swine flesh and all kind of abominable things and doing all kind of madness in the church that was against the laws of the Most High, to defile it. So he got rid of the stones. And when as they consulted what to do with the altar of burnt offerings, which was profaned, they thought it best to pull it down, lest it should be a reproach or disgrace to them, because the heathen had defiled it. Wherefore they pulled it down and laid up the stones in the mountain of the temple in a convenient place, until there should come a prophet to show what should be done with them, with these stones, these filthy stones. Then they took whole stones according to the law, and built a new altar according to the former, and made up the sanctuary and the things that were within the temple, and hollowed the courts. They made also new holy vessels, and into the temple they brought the candlestick, the seven holy candlesticks, the menorah that we have. They made also new holy vessels, and into the temple they brought the candlestick and the altar of burnt offerings and of incense and the table. And upon the altar they burned incense, and the lamps that were upon the candlestick they lighted, that they might give light in the temple. Furthermore, and understand this, so everybody understand, these lamps are not what we see today. The lamps were, when you look at the law, the lamps, every branch was the same length. So the only way that you can make a lamp to go in the same length, you have the one in the middle, and you have those that come out and come across like this, so that it will be lights going on the outside, not like we see it today. One coming this way, then another one smaller, than another one. No, it's not. It wasn't like that. They were all the same length. The only way you could do that is cross them in the middle, cross them like that, where it goes around. into a format of a pomegranate or a lily. So, and the lights are on the outside, because each branch had to be the same length. That's why it says, verse 50, and upon the altar they burned incense, and the lamps that were upon the candlestick they lighted, that they might give light in the temple. Furthermore, they set the loaves upon the tables and spread out the veils and finished all the works which they had begun to make. Now on the 25th day of the 9th month, which is what we call our 12th month, 25th day, which is called the month Caslu, in the 148th year of the year of the Greeks, they rose up at betimes in the morning and offered sacrifice according to the law upon the new altar of burnt offerings which they had made. So look at what time and what day the heathen had profaned it, even in that was it dedicated with songs and cisterns and harps and cymbals. So you look at what they call Christmas today. This is the time that they defile our temple, because it's always been pagan. This ain't something that just began since you've been born or came into the world. They always, that's why Most High told us in Jeremiah, the 10th chapter, don't do as a heathen. They've been doing this. So Nimrod, Semiramis was his mama. Started that way back during that time. So this ain't nothing new. Pagans been doing this. It just, the religion, just like he just said, he set up their religion. The religions is doing the same thing they were doing then. Always followed the way of the heathen. He said, learn not the way of the heathen. That's what we did until this day. So those filthy stones, because they sacrificed swine flesh, had orgies, all kind of madness, profaned the children, all that. So that's what we're looking at there with the filthy stones. Now, slothful is lazy, unmotivated, as far as dealing with the work of the Most High. People can be motivated and doing whatever they're going to need to do for themselves, but when it comes down to the work of the Most High and what we got to do and the sacrifice that it takes to do this, they're not motivated. That's why it says, Ecclesiasticus 22:8, verse 1. A slothful man is compared to a filthy stone. We just see what that filthy stone is. And everyone will hiss him out to his disgrace. They gonna look at him and say, man, you're good for nothing. To make him a disgrace, a reproach. It says, a slothful man is compared to the filth of a dunghill. Wow. A lazy, unmotivated man is compared to the filth of a dunghill. What's a dunghill? That's where all your manure, or everything that come out of you go to. It's like boo-boo. Every man that takes it up will shake his hand. You get doo-doo on your hand, you're gonna be getting off your hand. That's what he's talking about. That's how you look at as lazy man. Now look at let's go some more into this slothfulness. Proverbs 12:8. Proverbs 12:8. A man shall be commended according to his wisdom, but he that is of a perverse heart shall be despised. So a man's supposed to be commended, first of all, according to his wisdom, which is a proper application of knowledge, how to take what it is that we're getting in this truth and apply it in your life, the application of this truth in your life. That's wisdom, proper application of knowledge. But a perverse heart or mind shall be despised. Yeah, it's going to be despised. Why? Because you're going to be wishy-washy. You're not going to be able to deal with this. And some men are, you think they all in it, but like I always say, when the book is closed, what's the word on you? We gotta, if we're gonna be righteous in the kingdom, and you want to be selected as the elect, then you gotta work on being righteous now. Because a perverse mind shall be despised, he said. It's very